The shooting stunned the nation. 11 people were killed when a man opened fire inside their Pittsburgh Synagogue. It was the single worst attack on American Jews in our country's history, and it made clear an alarming trend in America.
The FBI just reported this week a 17% increase in hate crimes nationwide last year and a 51% increase in Florida alone. NBC2 investigator Rachel Polansky discovered the numbers are also up here in our part of the state.
The text messages were coming in that are very anti-Semitic, talking about how the Jews should be burned more.
This Naples man says he started getting anti-Semitic text messages last year.
And it started getting more personal. My mother and myself should have been burned during the Holocaust. And my mother was in the concentration camps. Really shocks you. I mean, because I lost her to cancer, and it was from the experiments that they had done on her.
If that's not a hate crime, I don't know what is.
And this man, who lived on Fort Myers Beach with his black cousin,
So he comes out and he says like the N-word and stuff like that.
started receiving racist hate mail 6 months ago.
There's literally like a pile of cigarette butts and like a whole bunch of stuff all over my furniture with a sign that says, I hate blah, 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 the N-word.
That escalated into death threats.
The guy literally bulges out the door and says,
I'm gonna kill you.
Hey, N-word, I'm gonna kill you.
So what was it? It was a swastika.
And this Fort Myers woman says her car was vandalized in a high school parking lot. A swastika keyed into the passenger door. All three are victims of possible hate crimes. Crimes they reported to their local law enforcement.
I didn't think things like that really happened.
Not only are they happening, they're happening a lot. The FBI reports 72 hate crime incidents in Florida in 2015. Then 96 incidents in 2016, a 33% jump. And that number ballooned to 145 incidents in 2017, a 51% increase.
What do you think about that? It's disgusting.
The FBI isn't the only organization that tracks hate crime numbers. The Florida Attorney General's office does too. But the NBC2 investigators discovered that their numbers don't match. In 2016, the FBI reported 96 hate crime incidents, while the Attorney General's office reported 124. When I asked both agencies about that discrepancy, they told me they collect their data differently.
If you don't know the scope of the problem, you can't fix the problem.
David Barkey works for ADL, a Jewish nonprofit that tracks anti-Semitic and hate incidents in Florida. And he has his own theory about the discrepancy in numbers.
To report to the FBI, it's voluntary. To the state, it's mandatory.
And there's no uniform standard for hate crime reporting in our state, something that may lead to underreporting.
If reporting is voluntary, it's not mandatory, there are agencies that are not going to report.
Which begs the question, how do we solve a problem when we can't even agree on how big the problem is?
As a university, one of the things that we can do is offer a course, is educate at least our population.
At Florida Gulf Coast University, they're not waiting to find out.
We're trying to educate our students about what happens when you see people as other.
The university was already planning to offer a course about anti-Semitism next fall, but after the shooting in Pittsburgh, they moved it to this spring.
And anti-Semitism poses a terrible threat, not just to Jews, but to the American way of life.
Rabbi Bruce Diamond will be the teacher, and he says it won't be a history class. It will be a research class.
And we're here to investigate, to learn, to examine facts, and to draw some conclusions. The underlying question that the course will look at is, should we be worried?
Should we be worried?
Ask me at the end of the semester.
All of our local law enforcement agencies declined my request for interviews, but I was able to pull our local data. In Lee, Collier, and Charlotte counties, there were 4 hate crimes in 2015, 7 in 2016, and 12 in 2017. Now you can access all of the data that I compiled throughout this investigation on the NBC2 app. For the NBC2 Investigators Tonight, I'm Rachel Polansky.